in about 30 seconds.
Okay. Also make me co-host so I can
Yeah.
give people access as they need.
We are live.
Perfect. So once again, welcome everybody. This is our second LearnQuest Classical Music Conference 2024 workshop. It is so wonderful to see all of you and all of you returning faces that I see. We are very excited about this. This is our second step into an exploration into culture, music, and everything musical. And as I have said last week, and I'll say it again, as we lead up to the grand festival that begins on March 29th, we will be offering a series of these workshops every 2 weeks. And it is designed to enrich your understanding and appreciation of classical music and dance. And these sessions will showcase the depth and the beauty of this timeless art form. And it will also provide a platform for meaningful engagement and learning. So we encourage you to ask questions and make comments, whatever it is that you feel like doing in the moment that will enhance our learning today. If you want more information about the conference, visit our website, www.learnquest.org. And just a quick introduction to the festival. In previous years, we'd had it for 1 week, 1 weekend rather. And this time we have expanded it to 2 weekends. We have classical dance that we're bringing in. And of course, an array of wonderful musicians, both Carnatic and Hindustani, that are coming. So encourage this. I encourage you to embrace these learning opportunities, right? Connect with fellow enthusiasts. Just savor all that is thrown at you. And together, let's make the LearnQuest Classical Music Conference and this workshop a celebration of artistic expression and cultural harmony. So now I will turn it over to Hiram to introduce today's artist, Ramana.
Thank you, Pallavi. Welcome everyone to the second workshop of the LearnQuest festival, and today's session is going to focus on the construction and maintenance of the Harmonium. And 2 weeks back, Ramanaji did a similar session on tabla. That was a fantastic session, and so I'm looking forward to this session too. But before we get started, I just wanted to give a quick background and information on Ramanaji. He grew up in Jamshedpur, India. He grew up in a very musical environment. His mother is a Carnatic vocalist. His brother is a sitar player, and he was surrounded with other musicians, notably Arvind Kumar Azad from the Banaras Gharana. And I think that's where his passion to learn different instruments and repair different instruments, it all started there. And I think it all started primarily because of the necessity and lack of resources in Jamshedpur. And then he took it upon himself to master that art, master the craft, and he has so much in-depth knowledge on the construction, what goes into the maintenance of a particular instrument. And I'm so looking forward to that session today. He moved to Boston in 1997, and his profession is or he's an IT professional, but I think his passion is and his love is all music, you know. And when he moved here, he started helping out local artists in the Boston area, notably Sandeep Das, and and soon the word spread, and and what you see in the background is his workshop, where he takes he puts a lot of his personal time on nights and weekends to actually help the local artisans to fix the instruments or fine tune the instruments. His workshop has now actually grown into a full-fledged online store, Radha Rhythms, and through that he also procures and supplies instruments throughout US and North America. So with that brief introduction, I will hand it over to you.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Hiram.
much, and looking forward to this session.
Thank you. Welcome again and welcome back. I know few of you may have attended last year's conference, and this year a few more exciting things are taking place. Two of my very, very good friends are joining me. The first is the head of music department, or rather the dean of music from Bharati Vidyapeeth, Mr. Praveen Kaslikar, is going to be joining me today. And secondly, one of my very good friends who comes every year from Kolkata to Boston and stays with me for a couple of months, a third generation harmonium artist and a sarod maestro by himself, a sitar and sarod maestro in his house. Mr. Suvajit Pakrashi is joining us, one of the best harmonium makers in uh, uh, the globe by far, right? So thank you, Hiram, for your kind words, but I consider myself to be learning the art in front of people like Suvajit.
It's my pleasure to
They are
experience it.
born
Yeah.
into this,
Yeah.
and a lot of times when I'm stuck, I still reach out to him for help on different things, and it feels great to have such good friends in your corner. You know, a little bit about my association with LearnQuest. LearnQuest does a lot to help the society. This music festival is one of a kind in the USA. I've seen Carnatic festivals, I've seen tabla festivals, but I've not seen one where all the different forms come together, right? You have vocal and instrumental in both Carnatic and Hindustani, and they've added dance to that mix. How do you support LearnQuest? Attend the conference, attend that music weekend, enjoy yourself, buy the tickets, come with your family, and spend a good quality time there with all of us. And, just enjoy the music and enjoy the ambience of the environment. I think LearnQuest has come a long way and one of the premier learning institutes here. And the only way they don't ask for any donations, they just say attend our music conferences and be part of the community. That's what they ask. So I think it's a very small ask, and all of us should do our part to support it in a major way. Having said that, thank you. And today I'm going to do things a little differently from last year. The way I'm going to divide this, and again, I'm flying by the seat, which is I never go with a script. So it's all unscripted. But we are going to talk about the common problems that plague our harmoniums. How to take care of your harmonium. What are the do's that you must do when you have a harmonium, right? What are the enemies of the harmonium? And then we're going to talk a little bit about the different flavors, at least three different flavors in my mind of harmoniums that are in vogue in terms of regional flavors. Then we'll go a little bit into what the harmonium looks like from the inside. We'll talk about tuning. And then I'm going to sign off and hand it over to Praveen if he's joined by then, so that Praveen can talk about a very in-depth topic that some of you may be wanting to know, Gandhar tuning in the harmonium, which is very prevalent in Maharashtra. We'll get into the details of that. Finally, the most excitement is going to be at the end of the conference when Suvajit has a surprise for all of us. So I'm going to keep that as the grand finale so that, at least for an hour, you guys will be just
Okay.
uh, hanging there. So, having said that, let's begin. Because we go unscripted, all questions are welcome. We'll give you guys ample time to ask questions. Raise your hands, and one of the moderators will pass your question over to me, right? Whenever you have a question, just raise your hands. Feel free to interrupt me, one in the middle of something also. It doesn't really matter. This show is unscripted. So, having said that, let's go.
Let's go.
So, when you have a harmonium, what are the major problems that plague your harmonium, right? Moisture and dust.
Mhm.
These are the two major problems. In the USA, we also have a vast temperature difference. So you need to protect your harmonium. Lastly, do not expose your harmonium to sunlight. The reason is some of this paint and the other things are going to fade. And also, it's not good to give your harmonium a large variation in temperature.
Mhm.
So, how do you take care of this? Very simple. When you've done playing, put a blanket on top of it,
Mhm.
which prevents dust from coming in. But even before you put a blanket on that, make sure that you let the air out of the bellows. Just press the keys and the air comes out of the bellows. Some of you in the US own a compressor. What is the number one cause of a compressor ruining? Moisture within the compressor. So you always remove air from bellows before taking it out, otherwise there'll be a certain degree of condensation and then your bellows are going to go, right? And you don't want to keep that pressure of the air, so always take that thing out, cover it with a blanket, and that's it. How do you keep your harmonium in tune, or any Indian musical instrument for that matter in tune? By playing it every day.
Mhm.
That's the best way to keep your instrument in tune. At least for 5 to 10 minutes, play it every day. Things will work like a very well-oiled machine and your harmonium will be playing very smoothly, right? Always in tune. If you keep it aside, take it out after 3 years, you should get it tuned once before you play it, because, you know, then it's likely that certain dust has gotten in and the elements have ruined some of the tuning, because these are very sensitive parts, especially unlike the tabla, the harmonium has very, very, very sensitive equipment, as you're going to see today,
Mhm.
right? Some of the major problems that plague your harmonium. The first one is buzzing keys.
Yeah.
So you have a harmonium and the key is going to buzz. And I'm going to show you. This is a Calcutta brand harmonium. They're different. Regionally, harmoniums can be divided into Delhi makes. I don't know if you can see this to my extreme left and to your right. This is a Delhi make. This is a Maharashtra make. This is a Calcutta make. So Vijita, apologies, I don't have any Pakrashis left in stock. You sell out so fast that I don't have any. Otherwise, I'd have shown one of yours too. The harmonium, essentially, other than the keys, has a complete set of reeds here. Purva, can you just bring the camera a little closer so that people see this? So it has these 3 chambers within, and it has this set of reeds. I've covered one set of reeds because I'm tuning this harmonium, but these are the reeds which are there. And I'll show you a reed in particular. I should have one in my box. And this is what a reed looks like. You've got a riveted end and you've got an open end. We're fine. Thank you. The tongue, this is called the tongue. And I'm hoping that people can see. I'll move closer. This is the tongue of the reed. The most important piece in your harmonium. As you can see, it is fixed on one end and open on one end. So you have the right side, the left side, and this side. 3 sides of the tongue are open. So whenever your reed is buzzing, it means that this, when going in to play, is getting stuck someplace. It is getting stuck someplace, which is why you're hearing a buzzing noise.
Okay.
Where can this reed get stuck? So if you look at this, the reed is mounted on a wooden board here.
Yep.
Even if you see the one with the paper, it's mounted on a wooden board. So if your reed is not going inside, it could be stuck on the wood.
On the wood. Yeah.
The other way that the reed can be stuck at is 2 other places. Either one of the sides or the bottom.
Yep.
So if it's stuck at the side, you move it to the other side. If it's stuck this side, you move it gently to the other side. The buzzing stops, right? And if it's there at the bottom, the worst part, take a file and gently file it.
Okay.
I wouldn't suggest any of you tinker around with the reeds too much. Go to a professional for help. The reason is, in this particular reed, you can see that the tongue is made out of copper. You have stainless steel reeds, you have brass reeds, you have copper reeds, and you have alloy reeds.
Okay.
Stainless steel is the toughest material. We don't recommend it. We call them as jazz reeds. The sound is a little funky, which I don't like that much. The more traditional reeds are brass and copper reeds. But both brass and copper are softer materials.
Okay.
So it's very easy to snap this as you're working with it,
Got it.
or it's very easy to destroy it. When you take out too much material, you're thinning this. So the timbre of the note and the quality of the note changes
Understood. Yeah.
from what you bought it, from when you bought it. And it's also possible to break a reed. When you break a reed, you can't go to the market and say, I broke my C sharp reed, I need a C sharp reed. It's not that easy.
I was about to ask, like, how do you replace a reed? Yeah.
So these reeds are manufactured by different manufacturers.
Mm-hmm.
The major reed manufacturers, local reeds in a machine like a Delhi make,
Mm-hmm.
inexpensive.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the cases, we don't know who the reed manufacturer is, because there's, other than printing something here, and you can see on this reed, there is nothing written here.
Right.
So you don't know who this reed manufacturer is.
Right.
So you'll have to match that size.
Okay.
So even if you were to come to someone like me, I would have to call someone like Pakrashi
Mm-hmm.
and say, I have a reed of this dimension,
Okay.
and it sounds like a local reed. Can you get me something? And they don't sell it by a piece. They sell it by the entire set, even though you want one reed.
So all the keys have to,
Yes.
they have to sound same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So they sell it by the set. You can replace one and tune it to match the sound closely,
Mm-hmm.
but it's sold by the set. So it's an expensive proposition when you break a reed.
Right.
Okay. And it's not an easy fix. Similarly, you have, in the old days, pre-World War II, you had Germany and Paris manufacture reeds. They're called the German Jubilee reeds. They are not manufactured anymore. You'll have to hunt in antique stores,
Mm-hmm.
take all the reeds out. And a lot of times I get asked the question, I have a set of German reeds. Can I replace my harmonium with German reeds? No, the reason is the reed boards are made to a particular size which exactly fit that manufacturer's reed specifications.
Mm-hmm.
So take this.
Yeah.
Even if I had a set of German reeds, I could not replace these because the reeds are wider.
Wider. Yeah.
There is a substantial size difference. So essentially what we have to do is, this board which is hosting the reeds, we have to remove it, manufacture a new board. Now you land into a problem if the board will fit in here or not properly.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the reeds don't mix and match. In Palitana, you have two major ones, Samrat and non-Samrat reeds, which come in various flavors. Again, within that, you have RT Deluxe reeds, and you have about 5 to 6 categorization of reeds. The size of each reed is different.
Correct.
And again, within Palitana, which is a place in Gujarat, if you went there, if you went to Jivanlal Mistry reeds, they are different from a different maker from Palitana itself.
Okay.
So if you were to replace, reeds have 3 categorizations essentially. They come in bass, male, and female.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be that the male and female match, but the bass sizes don't match.
Right.
You'll have various things. Then you have another reed manufacturer, which is very famous in, famously used in Maharashtra.
Mm-hmm.
These are the most expensive of the reeds in today's market. These are called NS reeds. If I'm not mistaken, the NS reeds are manufactured in Delhi, but they're manufactured in smaller branches, and the artists from Maharashtra prefer to have the NS reeds or a harmonium made from the NS reeds. They hold their note in a very stable manner. We don't like them. When this reed is manufactured, there's something called voice tuning which is done at the factory.
Okay.
And sometimes it is not.
Mm-hmm.
So if Pakrashi was manufacturing a harmonium in Calcutta and he was using Palitana reeds, he has a set of people who specialize in tuning.
Okay.
He's first going to tune each reed outside the machine, which is called voice tuning. There's a voice tuning machine.
Okay.
Then he puts it into the machine and tunes it again.
Okay.
So depending on what the person who is doing the voice tuning is hearing, all the Palatana reeds, because they're not voice tuned at the factory, they're going to sound slightly different. So we like them because no two harmoniums, even though they're
Sound
using the same maker of the reeds, sound exactly alike. We like that little slight differences,
Different flavor.
the flavors.
Yeah.
NS reeds come very precisely voice tuned from the factory.
Okay.
So all of them sound very, in my opinion, very robotic because there's no difference from one reed to the other. And make no mistake, my dislike for it does not take away the quality of the reed. The reed is one of the best in the market, NS reeds. In today's market, NS reeds are one of the best in the market. I personally don't like them because to me, there's no difference in sound between the difference.
Yeah.
It's very, the monotony kills me.
Yeah.
I like to have that slight difference, which is why I lean more towards getting harmonium manufactured with Palitana reeds rather than with NS reeds. Now, Maharashtrian players prefer this way, right? The NS reeds. Now, there are different categorizations. So we covered the buzzing reeds. The next thing which happens is your key gets stuck. I can give you an example. Here the key is stuck, if you guys can see. So these keys are supposed to bounce back and this key is stuck. So what do you do when a key is stuck? As you can notice, there is slight friction between these two keys. So all you do is remove the key that has that friction and gently use sandpaper or a file and file these sides so that it's not hitting this one.
Got it.
And then your key starts to move freely. The other reason a key may be stuck depending on the maker of the harmonium is this one has a nice brass pin and it sets into an indent here. But if you have a key which is pivoting on a pin in the center, that hole may have gotten clogged, so you remove the key, widen the hole, and your key gets unstuck.
Okay.
These are the two biggest problems that plague your harmonium. The third problem that plagues your harmonium, you start playing your harmonium and without one of the drone keys pulled out, you keep hearing a sound that is coming in, as though one of the drone keys is pulled out. For example, this is a drone on a harmonium. And you hear such a sound coming, even though the drone key is not pulled out. The most likely cause of that is there is something stuck under the key. So if you open a key, this one, if you open any key, this has leather pads. So most likely you have some dust stuck here. Remove the dust and you're good to go. Because the hole that is here, when you depress the key, the hole that is here is where the air is coming out from the reed. So that reed stone is what you're hearing because there is a gap and this hole is not closed.
Right.
So once you manage to remove the dust, that hole is closed and we can stop that sound from coming like a drone noise. Now, why will something get stuck in there? I don't know. This weekend I was fixing harmoniums and I found under the keypad the bulletin board pins under the keypad.
How did those get there?
So when we open the complete harmonium, I find pencils, pens, hair clips, many different things that are in there. So these are sensitive instruments. So all I can say is you need to be a little careful.
Yep.
Right. I'll take a pause here and ask the audience if there's any other items that are plaguing their harmoniums that they want to hear about. I've spoken about some of the most common ones. There are many things that can go wrong, but I've spoken about some of the most common problems that are actually affecting your harmonium. Any questions? Yeah, in the Delhi make harmoniums, the other reason your key can get stuck is there is a rod and there's a V groove at the end of this key.
Okay.
And that V groove may not be enough to provide a free movement, in which case you insert a sandpaper and expand that groove.
Okay.
And then you have a free movement. Essentially, you want the movement to be free.
Correct.
Okay.
There's one question from Neil Nadkarni.
Yes.
Can Neil please put the question in the chat?
Sure, I can. Will do.
Or you can just ask here. I think if you're unmuted now.
Oh, great. Thank you both. This is excellent for doing this. Very informative. You went at a rapid pace, and I can understand the time limits. My question pertains to the tuning and the reeds. I know that this discussion may come on later, but when is the sweet spot to consider not doing the tuning yourself and to request help? Because you mentioned that these reeds are fragile and could break, and it could ruin the whole harmonium. So when do you stop? When do you proceed?
Let me tell you something about tuning. I'll cover tuning in depth. Okay. I've been dealing with harmoniums my whole life. But if Suvajit was in my house, I would leave the tuning to him for my own harmonium and not do it myself. Tuning needs generational experience because this is not a piano. This is a harmonium. And we'll get into the nuances of tuning. Okay. Now, to answer Neil's question very precisely, if you find one key out of note and you have to take a little bit of material off, go for it. Be gentle and go for it. We receive requests. My harmonium is at 432 hertz. Can you tune the entire harmonium to 440 hertz? That's a tall order. This is stuff that you don't want to take on yourself. The other thing is when most of the keys in your harmonium have to be tuned, we would suggest going to a professional.
Yeah.
Being gentle with it, because there is a likelihood that your harmonium was tuned before. If a reed was already weak, you're taking material out of it again, you may snap the tongue. In that case, you are without resources to help yourself. When you go to a professional, the professional by hook or crook will get help for you. If he breaks something, he will replace it for you. So if you're doing one key, two keys, it's good. You want the whole harmonium tuned, my suggestion is go to a professional, and we'll cover tuning and you'll see why it is so difficult. The harmonium tuning, why it is so difficult. It's not an exact science, it's a relative science. Neil, does that answer you some, or do you have a follow-up?
Thank you. Yes, this is Nilesh. This is helpful, but for us in the US, these facilities are not readily available. And the last time I had taken the harmonium, I had taken the reeds out, the reed board out, and that was a challenge to get it tuned in India. So unless you actually take the whole instrument back and forth and have to withstand the transport, it is really challenging to even think of
Correct.
something.
So towards that end, right, and part of it is publicity. I am alone by myself here, Nilesh, and I don't mean to say that I'm going to service the whole of USA. Okay. Even doing a program of this sort is not possible for me logistics wise, because we go to bed around 2:30 in the morning and wake up at 6 in the morning. So we are happy if we get 4 hours of sleep. But this is one of the reasons why I partner with people like Pakrashi. Be in touch with LearnQuest, or you can be in touch with me at my handle in Instagram, Radha Rhythms, or you can be in touch with Pakrashi at I forget his exact handle, and I'll let him talk about it when he addresses us later today. What we've done is we are bringing Pakrashi here for 3 months at a stretch, at least once in 2 years, and making sure that he covers the entire United States. So he's in Boston for 15 days, New Jersey for 15 days. Then, for example, this year he went to Atlanta. The next time he comes in, we'll be sending him to Washington, D.C.
Okay.
2025, he's going to Toronto. So he goes with his manufacturing staff with him. So no matter what make your harmonium,
He'll be able to.
he will be able to completely fix your harmonium and retune it for you. He brings about a facility that even I am not able to offer. Because I'm limited in Boston, I have no time for my family, forget about travel. So I can't travel to different places. I get requests, we'll sponsor your flight tickets, we'll sponsor you, we'll pay you, but I have no time. I can't go anywhere. So this is where, our partnership with people like Suvajit comes in very, very handy, because he travels and he does this as a service, because he's leaving Calcutta and traveling to the US to help us. Right? So be in touch with Pakrashi, LearnQuest, or myself, and one of us can guide you as to when this is, or even when you have a specific issue or a problem, you can talk to us and we'll see if we have any resources near you that can help you in a very unique case like yourself. Right?
Thank you so much, Ramanaji.
Okay.
Hello.
Let's go. Go ahead.
Hi. Sorry if I'm interrupting. I thought this was the Q&A session, so it's all right if I ask a question?
Absolutely. Go ahead, please.
First, thank you. This is very informative, very helpful. We have a harmonium. Both me and my wife play it. Our children play the piano. And we have had a gap of few years, say 2, 3, 4 years, where the harmonium wasn't really used. And what we find is the capacity of the bellows, the dhaman, has reduced significantly in terms of the duration, in terms of how much the note, how long the note can be held. And obviously the rule of thumb was, the more you play, the more the sound opens up, the more you play, the stronger the harmonium gets, so to speak, metaphorically. But is there a way, when you have not played the harmonium for a long time, and there might be micro perforations in the bellows that could possibly be leaking the air, and that could be one of the reasons why it doesn't hold the sound as long as it traditionally used to. Any thoughts, any comments, any suggestions on your side?
What is your name, please?
My name is Sanjay.
Sanjay, thank you so much. You bring about a very pertinent question in some of the common problems. And, because I go without a script, I sometimes miss out certain things from my memory. What you're referring to is a common symptom called an air leak. It's not about the capacity of your bellow. It's about air escaping from the harmonium. And air can escape from the harmonium in various ways. So essentially, when we look at a harmonium, and this may be redundant for a few folks, right? So, do you want to bring this over once, please, to the inside? And I'll hold a flashlight so that people can see. A very rudimentary harmonium such as this, right? No frills, not a scale changer. You have your external bellows that brings air from outside within. And then you have this here. I'm hoping people can see what I'm pointing to. The air goes from here into a bottom bellow, which you cannot see here, which is supported by springs on the bottom.
Yep.
Okay. Good. You have stops here. So when you pull one of these, the air comes into that particular chamber based on which stop you're opening. Okay. Then when you depress a key, the air comes in here, that particular reed resonates, and you get a sound. So within this, many things can go wrong between the chambers, and I'll call this the reed chamber and the bottom chamber where your stops are.
Yeah.
You could have an air gap. Why will that air gap come? Over a period of time, the board may warp very slightly.
Got it.
But remember, for air and water to leak, a micromillimetric
Yeah.
precision, right? Even if there's a very, very, very pinhole-like gap, like a quarter of a pinhole-like gap, air is going to escape. That is going to reduce your sustain.
Mm-hmm.
One of the reasons. The other reasons could be that over a period of time, and this we have gained through experience, and Sujit can attest to this from Pakrashi, you have cracks in your reed board. Air escapes through those.
Mm-hmm.
Your harmonium may have been fixed earlier. They may have drilled something or made a hole. Air can escape through that. Your padding may not be completely securing this. Air can escape through that. So there are various causes which cause what we call as an air leak. And when you say it's not sounding for as much time, we call that as sustain. So whenever there is an air leak, the reed is not responsible for that. The bellow is not responsible for that. The sustain is from an air leak. So in all likelihood, even if you have not had your harmonium fixed before, a slight warping of the soundboard or the bottom chamber, the wood there, can cause an air leak which is causing this. And those are the times when someone like Suvajit Pakrashi comes in very handy. Because essentially at that time what you need to do is you need to rip apart the whole harmonium. All the keys, all the springs are taken out, right? Everything is opened down to the bare bones. They then look at the wood of the reed board and they sand it down or plane it down so that there's no undulations.
So
They fix every crack within the reed board. If the leather pads need to be replaced under the keys, they do that. I do that here, but in a limited way because I'm one person. It's like a one-man army.
Yeah.
And I have so many instruments to fix that I don't have as much time as a dedicated harmonium professional doing that, which is why I always say that if you're in a bind, come to me. But always take advantage of the opportunities when Pakrashi travels here because they're doing this full time 24/7. So the few months they are here, such projects should be undertaken by them. And you are in expert hands because they are third generation harmonium manufacturers. They've forgotten more than what I've learned in a lifetime. So those are the cases when you should take advantage of those. Now, simple air leaks to minorly increase the sustain takes us a few hours to diagnose and fix. We can still do that here. But in a major way, if you want this done, I would suggest using the services of the manufacturers as they come here.
Thank you for that. We are not professional musicians by any stretch, so it's perfectly playable. And yes, it has some minor things like the stuck keys which you covered earlier, so that was fantastic. Thank you for that. We are also in Boston like you, and therefore the wide variations in temperature and especially the issues around lack of humidity during the winters. In the piano, obviously, you have the chase durer system that keeps the soundboard nicely humidified and preventing cracking and warping and things like that. Obviously, there is no such system for the harmonium, but your point is absolutely valid that in a place like Boston with dryness, humidity, and such fluctuations, any wood will warp. Not only that, but the felt or the leather that seals the sound chamber, I guess. I can see slight fraying at the edges, and air could well be leaking from it. But thank you. This is very helpful, very educational. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Sanjay.
Excuse me, I have one question.
Sure.
I live in Florida. I know the maintenance or tuning is very difficult to get it done from somebody. And I have one Bina harmonium. Just now I opened and I was trying to, it is a scale changer. So I was playing it and I opened as you were showing, opening the chamber and all, and I put it back. But now when I'm trying to press the key, it says harden up and it's not going down. What did I do wrong? So
Is
sorry
that
to ask such a
Suchitaji?
stupid question.
What is your name, please?
My name is Harsha Malavia.
Harsha,
Sorry.
after the thing, right, I'll ask Pallavi to share my number, and
Okay.
we'll also, see if we can get you in touch with Pakrashi, okay, in
Okay.
case I get too busy, and one of us can definitely help you out in doing that. It's, I would suggest you go to Pakrashi for these things because he's an expert in troubleshooting over the phone,
Hmm.
giving you slight advice over that, right? And I would always defer to him when he's around me. I
Yeah.
kind of lean on him a lot. So
Okay. But today this thing stuck. It was playing and now keys are not going down. So what did I do wrong?
without looking at the harmonium in particular, we
Ah,
cannot tell you what is wrong. But like
okay.
I said, after the call, get in touch with Suvajita, and I'll request him to provide certain ways in which you can get in touch with him. He'll do a video call with you and help you
Okay.
work through that
Okay.
issue.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So maybe
Thank you
one
very
last
much.
question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
So Anil Kunte has got a question.
Absolutely.
Yeah. First of all, thank you for this informative session. I have one question. Uh, so I know harmonium and piano are different instruments, but given the fact that harmonium people who repair harmonium are so rare in US, by any chance, is it possible to take the harmonium with stuck key or something to a person who repairs pianos, and maybe can we get their help, or are they so different that it's not a good idea to do that?
There could be intelligent people who help you. Where are you located?
In Boston.
If you're in Boston, just come over.
Yeah.
Don't
Please.
worry
Okay.
about it.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. If
Thank
you're
you.
in Boston, just come over. Don't worry
Okay.
about it.
Thank you.
If you're in a different city, then yeah, I would say, uh, you know, piano is different. And I'll explain when we do tuning, I'll explain why the moving parts of this, the rigidity of construction of a piano,
Yeah.
the quality control in the manufacture of a piano, and the quality control in the manufacture of a harmonium is night and day.
I see.
It is very, very different. Let me get into the next topic where I'll cover
Yeah. Sure.
the
Thank you.
genres of the harmonium, not the genres of the harmonium, but the
Styles.
genres of the regions where the harmonium is manufactured. And, take my advice for what it is. I'm a very straightforward guy and I shoot from the hip. So I don't care if I offend somebody. It's
Thank you.
what it is, right? Everybody who is manufacturing this needs to make a living. Okay.
Okay.
We'll talk about good manufacturers, regardless of region from where you buy a harmonium, and we'll take a few examples. I won't take any names where I'm naming people that they don't manufacture it properly. I'll take good use cases and highlight them. So one of them is with us uh, today. I would say at number one in the manufacturing business of harmoniums, which is Suvajit Pakrashi. The skill in manufacturing a harmonium lies in its workers and the precision with which they make these parts. Most of these workers are extremely skilled carpenters. Now, I'll tell you that as a business, even going through COVID, if you've retained all your workers who have that wealth of experience, let me tell you how these people are. The grandfather used to manufacture harmoniums. The son started working in the same shop. Now the grandson is working in the shop. His sister's son is working in the shop. That generational experience which they bring. Like when Soji travels to the USA, the guy has done nothing, the worker that Sojit brings with him, for the past 25 years other than manufacture harmoniums. He doesn't have any other skill set. To retain these workers is a big task for these companies, so which is where the brand names come in, which is why they're slightly priced slightly higher than the other workers because of the precision with which it is made. So you see, this instrument from Paloma, I don't have a Pakrashi because I'm sold out, but Pakrashi or Haribhav Vishwanath, these are some of the names where they're slightly higher priced than your local make harmoniums from those regions, but well worth it because the precision that it offers, once it's shipped to you, just take it out of the box, no need to do anything, just start playing. As opposed to the other ones where you need to tinker a lot with them before you can actually even begin to play, right? You have North India manufactured, Punjab and Delhi. Can you see this?
I think we have to go.
This is a Delhi make harmonium. I would not recommend anybody to get this harmonium. The reason is, first, the wood which is used in construction. The wood that is used in construction is pine wood. Pine transmits sound extremely well, much better than any other wood. It's actually one of the finest in the transmission of sound. So you'll see a longer sustain in pine wood just because of the nature of the wood. However, it warps very easily. When you're trying to put any screw in it, it splits.
Soft wood.
It's very soft wood. Pine is the wood that you use for construction in your houses, 2x4s and the like. And it splits very easily. The other thing is, these harmoniums are manufactured in a very rudimentary way with very little quality control. For example, when I had to get to the reed chamber here, I was just opening this. In order to do this, I have to remove these two, then I have to remove these two screws. I have to remove screws from here, then another two screws, and then I can get to the reed chamber here. Very cumbersome. These break down very fast. These are the problems you'll have. The reeds which are manufactured, the reeds which are used in these are the cheapest of the cheap quality. What happens when you use those reeds? They don't hold their tuning well. They lose their tuning very fast. So in every which way, I would say stay away from the makers of North India when you're buying a harmonium. Now, not to say that there are no good makers there. A long time back, when we were kids, Beena used to manufacture their harmoniums. They were one of the premier manufacturers there. They were a very good company, no longer. Similarly, you had other brands. One of the names is slipping me. It came to me for repair from Lexington, Massachusetts. Phenomenal manufacturer in Delhi. So they are exceptions to the rule. When I say North India, I don't mean to say that no one does a good job there. There are a few people who may still be doing it. I don't know of any. The harmoniums are referring to are from the past. Okay. Then you have the Maharashtra harmoniums, which is this one. Right? They come, and Maharashtrian people don't like these laptop ways in which this harmonium would, for example, fold. They like a full scale, full size harmonium, which is a stand-up harmonium, right? The bellows open there, and you play this. Wonderful sustain, great quality of manufacturing. The labor cost in Maharashtra is more than in Calcutta, so these harmoniums will be slightly more expensive. Last a lifetime. Once again, it's personal preference at this point. Once you move out of North India, you have Maharashtra and you have West Bengal or Calcutta, more like it, right? These harmoniums, they both have a great quality. Great quality. Calcutta ones give you a little more flexibility. For example, this one folds in. There's a cover, so you can carry it like a briefcase. These ones, you carry what you have. This is again from Maharashtra, from Haribhav Vishwanath. This came in yesterday. A wonderful piece. In both these cases, in Calcutta and in Maharashtra, you'll see the tunes, they're using professional quality reeds. The wood that is used in the manufacture here is teak wood, which is a much harder wood, transmits sounds beautifully. And you have lesser problems with these two makes than with the other makes. So if you were to buy a harmonium, you would want to buy one from either Maharashtra or from Calcutta. Again, at that time, it's a matter of choice for you. The Calcutta ones will be significantly cheaper than the Maharashtra ones. Again, in Maharashtra, you have a lot of makers who are not good, and you have some makers who are extremely good. Similarly, in Calcutta, you have people like Subhajit who stand behind their products, right? And you have people who are local makers who don't know what they're doing. In other words, even in these two areas, you can get into an abyss when you get into the harmonium. Okay, because there's so many moving parts within the harmonium.
Yep.
And this is nothing. I will just show you one thing. We'll talk a little bit about, I think I'm fine. We'll talk a little bit about coupling in a harmonium. Okay. So coupling is when you want the sound from two octaves coming together. So when you press one key, and I don't have any coupling harmoniums here, otherwise I'd have shown you. You have generally a lever here or a knob here in the scale changers to couple. So when you press one octave, the other octave also, the same key in the other octave also gets depressed. You have left coupling and you have right coupling. The essence of coupling is to get a greater richness in the sound quality that comes in. This has generally most harmoniums have at least 3 octaves, 3.5 octaves. The lower octave, the middle octave, and the higher octave. When you get into coupling, the North Indian harmoniums couple to the right. I never really understood the need to do that. Because if you're coupling to the right, you're coupling with a higher octave, which does not increase the density of the sound. Any Calcutta or Maharashtra couplers will couple to the left, because then the density of the sound is increased. The Delhi manufacturers use this rod coupling mechanism, which is very, very, very prone to errors and breaking. It's a wire rod essentially, the cheapest of the cheap, stapled onto pine wood, which I ask people to stay away from. Those who come to me for advice, I tell them stay away from this, because this really destroys, a lot of the beauty of the harmonium and causes issues. Just last week, I was dealing with a customer who had come in, and in all likelihood, we have to remove this entire coupling mechanism which he has. Later on, I'll show you how the Calcutta coupling is, and it's an engineering marvel what they've done in Calcutta. It's truly an engineering marvel. Then you have folding harmoniums. You have harmoniums with a coupler, and lastly, you have scale changing harmoniums. Okay. If you don't mind passing that particular.
So why there are two sets of reeds over here in this harmonium?
So your harmonium can have one set of reed, two sets of reed, or three, or even four set of reeds. Okay. The reeds have a genre by themselves. Like I mentioned earlier, they can be bass, they can be male, or they can be female. Okay. Each one produces a different quality of sound. Most commonly when you go in, you have a two reed system, just to give you that balance of sound, right? And the reeds can be horizontal or the reeds can be vertical. In this is a horizontal row, this is a vertical row. You will hear khadi kangi, and people talk a lot about khadi kangi. This is a khadi kangi. The vertical row is called the khadi kangi. Okay. Now, you will notice a bigger reed. This is a bass reed, and you will notice a slightly smaller reed, which is a male. If you had a third row, it would be slightly smaller than this, the dimension, and this would become a female. You would have the bass male, female. So when you open all three stops in the front, all three reeds
Coming.
activated, air is passing over all three reeds. So when you're depressing a particular key, if you're depressing, let's say the C key here, then air is passing through 1, 2, and if you had a third and fourth set of reeds, it's passing through those 4.
Yeah.
The sound quality which you get from that is a richer experience. In 2-reed systems, usually the configuration is either bass male or male male. It's never male female. In 3-reed system, you may choose to have a bass male male or a bass male female. In a 4-reed system, the reason people buy the 4-reed systems is because you get like a 3D effect with the 4 reeds playing together. The sound fills the room. It's very beautiful. The disadvantage of that is they're very heavy. So we are actually talking with Suvajita to make for artists 2-reed systems with a scale changer.
Okay.
So that people who are used to a scale changer can take these to their events and still play them. Like even people who are non-artists, like say one of the largest places in the USA where the harmonium is used by people who have trained for 10 to 12 years is the Satya Sai Center of Bhajans. People are transporting them at least twice a week to those particular places. They're used to playing a scale changer, but they dread carrying the weight of a 3 or a 4-reed system. So I'm talking to Pakrashi to get some of these 2-reed scale changers made so that the weight becomes lighter, they're easier to carry. Okay. What the coupler does is, if you don't have a coupler, if you're depressing this, sound is coming over 2 reeds. If I had a coupling system and I played the C sharp key here, then this C sharp key would also play. Air is passing through 4 reeds now. So the sound is richer in a coupling system. Okay. Any questions on the coupling system or anything like that we have? I'll move on to a scale changer harmonium. It's heavy. And you'll see why people stay away from this particular one. Right now I'm sold out of all my scale changers, so all I have is one that came in for repair. Right? And these are beautiful. This is a Poland company. One time used to be the best manufacturer of harmoniums. This is a original Poland co. And you can see, if you want to bring the camera close. I'm not going to open this right now because it will take a little bit of time if I were to open this entire one and expose the system to you. The key is made up of 2 parts. One is the lower part and one is the upper part, right? Then you have these, if you can see these rods here, right? Just move a little closer if you don't mind. These rods here, which are going like this, these diagonal rods, this is your coupling mechanism. Okay. It's when I open it and show it to you, I won't do it today, but if I were to open this and show this to you, it's an engineering marvel the way that these scale changers are manufactured in Calcutta as opposed to this wire coupling system.
Yeah.
This is an engineering marvel the way the coupling system works in Calcutta, which is why whenever you buy a Calcutta harmonium and you say, I don't want a scale changer, but I want a coupler, they cost the same as a scale changer because the entire cost of manufacture is in this coupling mechanism.
Got it.
So if you buy one without a coupler, it's significantly cheaper, and this is a scale changer. The scale changer, again, one of the things I noticed when Suvajita was doing his first demo workshop in LearnQuest in person, people didn't know what the scale changer stood for. Usually you have a knob at the center and you say C sharp is written there, and this one it's not. So people think that by putting it there it's C sharp or whatever. All depends on what you're using as your key. In a harmonium, any key can become your sa.
Yeah.
So if you are using C as your sa, shifting one to the left is going to shift half a scale to the left. Shifting one to the right is going to shift half a scale to the right. Okay. So if C sharp was your sa, shifting one to the left, while your fingering remains at C sharp, however, the person you're accompanying is either playing an instrument or singing in C, but you don't know how to finger other than C sharp. So then you don't need to change your fingering. You're still fingering as though you were using the C sharp key as your sa, but moving it to the left changes it to C. Similarly, if you want somebody to accompany somebody who's playing a D, you're still fingering in C sharp. You're just moving half a scale to the right. That's the importance of the scale changer. Take a brief pause there. Any questions that folks have on this?
Hi, this is Nivesh again.
Yes.
Ramanaji, in the initial section, you mentioned relative scaling, and
we are coming
obviously
to that.
would affect. Yeah, obviously it will affect the scale changer. Are there ones that can incorporate relative tuning in the scale changer?
All harmoniums are relative tuned. I'll explain what I mean by that. Okay. I'll explain what I mean by relative tuning. A piano.
One second. Yeah. Go ahead, Ramanaji.
A piano has an exact tuning. What do I mean by that? This is a Korg meter. You use it on a piano and every scale is exactly to the meter. This is not how you tune a harmonium. Like I said, you have at least 3 octaves in most harmoniums, other than the smaller one, which is less than 3 octaves. This has 27 keys. Okay. An octave is made up of 12 keys. Your 7 saptaswaras, 5 komal swaras, and 1 tivra or mid swara, depending on what terminology you are referring to it. But what are the actual number of shrutis that are recognized and can be heard by the human ear? They are 22 in nature. The first person to discover the 22 shrutis was Bharat Muni in Natya Shastra. The Indian raga system implements the 22 shrutis. The 22 shrutis are very precise. So when you say 22 shrutis, they are microtunes. And there are a fixed number of microtunes that correspond in an octave with each of the saptaswaras. It's a very exact science, even the science of these microtunes. Most of you who have played music of some sort will have noticed that when you go in, they say, I need a tabla in scale C sharp. And in that area, on that particular day, no tabla is available in the scale of C sharp. So what does the artist then do? He still needs someone to play the tabla. He says, Pancham ka tabla hai kya? So our Indian music system corresponds to the Pancham. Pancham can be, when you look at a harmonium, it can go to the left or it can go to the right. For those of you who are beginners, now experienced musicians know this. Ra is Rishabh, Ma is Madhyam, Pa is Pancham. So when you have Saregama Pa here, the Sa has to match relative frequency to the Ma and has to match relative frequency to the pa. In a perfectly tuned harmonium, you are always matching the ma and the pa to the sa, depending on what key you have selected as your sa. Any key can be selected as the sa. Where do we use this meter in tuning a harmonium? Only in one place. You first select one key which you want to make your first sa. You selected this key. Use the meter and tune this key per the meter. Then you throw this meter aside. You don't need this anymore. Moving to the left and to the right, using the concept of matching the sa, the pa and the ma, you are going to tune the middle octave completely. Then you will tune the other extreme octaves. This is the concept of relative tuning of a harmonium. You are not going with a meter, pressing its key and seeing, does it match? That's not what you're seeing. You are eliminating any distortion that comes when you match your sa to the ma and the sa to the pa. This is why harmonium tuning is not an exact science, but depends on how good your hearing is. How do you hear the distortion in a poorly tuned harmonium is, it comes as a wave. The sound, you'll start hearing a wave of the sound. What we do is, through experience, we know whether that distortion relates to the untuned key being at a higher frequency or at a lower frequency. And correspondingly, we tune it. Your tuning tools are very simple. You have a file, and we make a knife edge on the three edges of this file. And what we do is, we take the reed and we scratch the reed. If you scratch it near the rivets, the sound will come down. If you scratch it near the tongue, the sound will go up. Again, be very careful as you scratch this. If you were doing your tuning, scratch it very little in the beginning. You want to bring a sound down, don't go bananas and scratch the entire reed with a great degree of force, right? Be very gentle. The other thing which you need to do, here it's not that big of a problem. Here it becomes a problem. Because if you did not support this tongue and you tried to scratch it, this reed will go inside. So when you're playing, no sound will come out. Goes back to what we discussed in the beginning, common problems of a harmonium. If this gap increased between the tongue and this, you're going to hear a hiss without any sound coming out when you're pressing the key. And the sound comes out a little later with a lag. That means all you need to do is press this in a little bit and close this gap between the tongue and the body. If the tongue goes completely inside, you press the key, no sound is coming out because the tongue is not able to vibrate at that point of time. Okay. So whenever you're doing it away from the rivets at least, I suggest doing it always. Support this. You know, I have the benefits of a workshop and tools, but if you guys don't have these, which are again handmade, these are not available in a market, then, those breakaway knives that you have, box cutters, that has a very thin blade. At least use that to get into this. Okay. And this is just a 3-pronged file that has its edges sharpened, which is what we use. Again, very rudimentary tools. So what is the basic of tuning? Take any one key, make that key as your sa.
Ramanaji, good
Yes.
morning.
Good morning.
This is Shubhajit. Sorry, you have been an extremely good orator. Okay, so sorry to interrupt you. The thing is, this must come with a note of disclaimer, right? What you're teaching is extraordinary, but but it should come with a disclaimer, like you see after a show that you says that this act should not be performed at home, right? So please go by the disclaimer.
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
You're absolutely, you're
So, yeah,
100% correct.
right.
You, this
Okay.
tuning, which is what, we
Yeah,
said
please
earlier,
continue. Please
when you
continue.
have to
Yeah.
tune this, you need a manufacturer's help to do this, right? Like I said in the beginning, even if you bring your harmonium to me, if Suvajit was next to me, I would not touch it. This comes with a lot of experience because you're dependent on your ear for tuning the entire harmonium. Just the ear, you're tuning one key with this. Now, again, I mentioned many things can go wrong as you start scratching the harmonium, the reeds. Your reeds can break. You can, you can take your harmonium completely out of tune, which is why there was a question that one gentleman asked: when should we take it to a shop and when should we tune it? If you're dealing with one key and a small correction, a very small correction,
You can do it at
try to do it at your home if you're confident enough. When you're tuning the whole harmonium, if you are brave enough to do it at your own risk. Because once you break things, it becomes a very expensive proposition to fix it.
Yeah.
And a very time-consuming proposition to fix it. Because tuning this by the ear takes a very, very, very long time. It takes a very long time to tune this by the ear. And you have to tune, like in this one, I showed you one set of reeds as I was tuning this was covered by paper. You have to tune each and every set of reed. Of course, your octaves are matched in every set. Then you have to take all the three sets and make sure there is no distortion. So there's various permutations and combinations that you're playing with there when doing this. So Suvajit is right that there should be a disclaimer that we do not suggest that you try to tune an entire harmonium on your own. Make use of the opportunities when Pakrashi is coming to the USA and he's tuning it. He's doing it. They'll sit down and tune it for you. They're professionals. The other thing, let me tell you how long it takes. Previously, many years back when Pakrashi was coming here, he would take 1 day for one harmonium. They've increased the speed, working from 6 in the morning till midnight. They can do 2 harmoniums a day, 2 of them together. So this is a very, very, very time-consuming process. Now, what Pakrashi can do in 1 day, I can do in 3 days. He has 3 generations of experience behind him. I don't. I'm the first in my kind doing this, learning things from childhood as I keep doing this, right? So even I get stuck sometimes in not realizing what some of the problems are that plague us in here. And I rely on people like him or, Haribhav Vishwanath to help me get over a hump when I'm truly stuck. So do it at your own risk. But again, to cover, one key is tuned with the meter. All other keys are relative tuned.
Yep.
Which is why we call it as a relative tuning within a harmonium. If you do it with a meter completely, you will have distortion in the sapa and the sama.
Those are absolutely.
So you want to tune the entire harmonium just with that configuration. Any questions on that, please?
I have one question. So you basically have to take out the reed, tune it, put it
No,
back.
we can tune it while it is in
While
here.
it is, okay.
So even when the reed is in here, you just open this and you file it. If it was this, I can show you very easily.
Okay.
Do you mind taking this out from here? Let me shut this down. This is a broken harmonium in more ways than one, which we need to fix. So I don't want to deal with this right now. Just move it out from here. I'll do that later. Thank you. So no, you asked a very pertinent question. Please do not remove your reeds because I don't want to explain too much here because I don't want people to do that. But when you remove a reed, there is a very finite way in which you have to put that back. There has to be a gluing mechanism of sorts so that air does not escape from the side of the reed itself. So if you can avoid it, try not to open any reed by yourself. Okay. And so the reed is here. Essentially, you can tune the reed while keeping it here itself. All you're doing is scratching either here or here. I'm telling you what to do, but again and again, I'm saying it comes with a disclaimer that you do it, it's a larger risk. I'm not trying to scare you folks, right? If someone is capable of doing it and is doing it, by all means go ahead. But for 99 out of 100 people, tuning harmonium reeds is not easy. It is much easier to tune a grand piano than it is to tune a harmonium, even though it's such a small instrument. Because you're not using any sort of meters to measure the sound. You're doing it entirely by the ear with very delicate and fragile parts. And like I said, the mismatch of the reeds makes it very difficult when you break a reed to find that size and that frequency which is matching there. So those are some of the disclaimers there. Any questions on the tuning, the relative tuning? I'm hesitant on how deep I want to go into this because this topic is like an ocean. And we can talk for 2 days about just tuning. If Suvajit was to do a workshop on tuning your harmonium, that workshop would be 6 hours long, at least, just to show the basics.
Yeah, let's do a quick time check.
Yeah, and question answers.
Yeah.
And I also want to ask, has Praveen joined, please?
Hello, Ramana ji. Namaste.
Praveen, namaste. If there are no questions
Namaste.
at this time, I want to hand over the floor to Praveen so that, Pallavi, if you want to spotlight Praveen will talk a little bit about the Gandhar tuning. As an introduction to Praveen is the Dean of Music at Bharati Vidyapeeth. Extremely good friend of mine. I'm privileged to have such people as my friends. Praveen, if I'm not mistaken, I'm speaking from memory, learnt vocal music for 20 years and now plays the harmonium full time. He accompanies all the major artists and is a great resource to know. So, Praveen, over to you, please.
Yes. Thank you, Ramana ji, for having me here in your lecture. I'm also enjoying the lecture here now. Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you very well.
Yes. So
आप हिंदी में भी बात कर सकते हैं, इंग्लिश में भी बात कर सकते हैं. We
बिल्कुल
have a good audience, so feel free.
दोनों इसमें चलेंगे.
Mix match कर दीजिए.
यस, सबसे पहले मैं सबको प्यार भरा नमस्कार देना चाहूंगा. रमना जी ने मुझे आज हारमोनियम के ऊपर थोड़ा बात करने के लिए बुलाया है. देखिए, मैं हारमोनियम ट्यूनर नहीं हूं, मैं एक प्लेयर हूं जो सोलो बजाते समय या अकम्पनीमेंट करते समय मुझे जो बातें ध्यान में आती हैं वो मैं आपके सामने रखना चाहूंगा. हारमोनियम, हमारा जो बेसिक टॉपिक था कि हारमोनियम को मेंटेन कैसा करना है और आपको क्या सावधानियां बरतनी होती हैं जब आप हारमोनियम बजाएंगे. सबसे पहले मैं कहना चाहूंगा, हारमोनियम में 2-3 चीजें बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, जिसमें से पहला है बेलो, दूसरा है कीबोर्ड और तीसरा होगा हारमोनियम का ट्यूनिंग. मैं थोड़ा 5 मिनट में सारे इस पे बोलना चाहूंगा. रमना जी ठीक है?
बिल्कुल ठीक है.
यस. तो हारमोनियम का बेलो अच्छा होना चाहिए, इसका मतलब मैं आपसे कहना चाहूंगा कि हाँ, उसको जो कपड़ा लगेगा, चमड़ा लगेगा, या वो हार्ड पेपर लगेगा, वो सब तो ठीक होना चाहिए ही, लेकिन उसका प्रेशर बहुत ज्यादा अच्छा होना चाहिए। हारमोनियम में साउंड प्रोडक्शन जो होता है वो रीड के माध्यम से होता है, लेकिन उससे वो एयर फ्लो बनना बहुत जरूरी होता है। अगर परफेक्ट एयर फ्लो नहीं है तो हारमोनियम का सुर भी आपके पास में ठीक ठीक से पहुंचेगा नहीं। इसलिए हारमोनियम का प्रेशर, एयर प्रेशर, इसलिए बेलो बहुत ज्यादा महत्वपूर्ण बात हो जाती है। इसलिए उसके नीचे जो एक स्प्रिंग होता है, स्प्रिंग, वो आपको हमेशा मेंटेन रखना है, उसका प्रेशर बना रहे, ये आपको सबसे ज्यादा सावध देखना होता है। ये प्रेशर क्यों महत्वपूर्ण है, इसका एक दूसरा भी मैं कारण बोलूंगा। हारमोनियम में हम लोग अभी हिंदुस्तानी राग संगीत बजाते हैं। हिंदुस्तानी राग संगीत में हिंदुस्तानी राग संगीत में कुछ कुछ फ्रेजेस ऐसी होती है जिसमें आपको खास उसके ऊपर बल देना होता है या जोर देना होता है, जो हाईलाइट करने के लिए या वो पर्टिकुलर राग का मूड क्रिएट करने के लिए उस सुर पे आपको थोड़ा ज्यादा बेलोइंग करना होता है, या वहां पे आपको प्रेशर की बहुत जरूरत पड़ेगी। इस समय आपका अगर बेलो या भाता ठीक नहीं है, धमन ठीक नहीं है, तो जो अपेक्षित वहां पे फोर्स बनना चाहिए होता है या प्रेशर चाहिए होता है, वो बनता नहीं है। और वो ना बनने से राग की जो एक आकृति आपके सामने आनी जरूरी होती है वो नहीं आ पाती। मैं इसका उदाहरण आपको दूंगा। ये मेरे सामने सफेद 6 का हारमोनियम है। मैं सफेद 6 का क्यों बोल रहा हूँ इसके ऊपर मैं आने वाला हूँ, लेकिन फिर भी देखिए अभी प्रेशर क्यों ज्यादा अच्छा होना जरूरी है, यह मैं आपको दिखाना चाहूंगा।
So we are not able to hear Praveen ji.
हेलो, हेलो, अभी अभी सुनाई आ रहा है आपको?
हाँ, अब आई थिंक आपके जूम सेटिंग्स में यू हैव टू एनेबल द तो
वन मिनट।
ओरिजिनल साउंड ऑन।
ओरिजिनल साउंड ऑन। अब अगर आप करेंगे तो इटल वर्क। सो आप जूम ऑडियो सेटिंग्स में जाइए।
जूम माइक से यहाँ से ना?
हाँ, माइक का वो एरो जो दिख रहा है वहां से सेटिंग्स में चाहिए।
जी ठीक है, अभी मैं यहाँ से आपको अभी आ रही है मेरी आवाज हारमोनियम की?
तो वो साउंड सेटिंग ठीक नहीं है तो या हारमोनियम सुनाई देगी या आप बात करना सुनाई देगा,
अभी
दोनों।
अभी देखिए अभी।
हाँ हाँ, अब सुनाई दे रहा है।
ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक, ओके। राग हमीर में हमारे यहाँ पे धैवत को थोड़ा बल दिया होता है, वो फ्लैट नहीं जाता है, देखिए।
प्रवीण जी फिर से सुनाई नहीं दे रहा है।
वो प्रवीण जी, उसमें अगर साउंड, ओरिजिनल साउंड आप सेटिंग्स में अगर डाल देंगे तो आएगा, नहीं तो क्या हो रहा है जब आप बजा रहे थोड़ा थोड़ा सुनाई दे रहा, पूरा सुनाई नहीं दे रहा है।
नहीं, ये यहाँ पे नहीं जा पा रहा हूँ मैं, ये मोबाइल से कर रहा हूँ मैं आज।
अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा, ठीक है। हाँ,
मोबाइल पे भी कर सकते हैं, देखिए एक मिनट मैं बताती हूँ।
so while Praveen is fixing that, Praveen also teaches harmonium. Anybody who wants to learn or engage with Praveen in a conversation, contact LearnQuest, contact me, and we can get you in touch with the LearnQuest faculty in order to get in touch with Praveen. and he's a phenomenal teacher.
Thank you for that information, Rabinaji. Praveen, this is Vijay. My name is Vijay Reddy. I'll look forward to connecting with you and the LearnQuest team.
रमना जी, ये यहाँ से नहीं हो रहा है, मोबाइल से नहीं हो पा रहा है ये।
तो आप वो नीचे जूम मीटिंग के नीचे वो 3 डॉट्स दिख रहा है आपको?
इनके नीचे 3 डॉट्स, ऑप्शन, हाँ हाँ हाँ, यस यस।
हाँ, तो आप वो क्लिक कीजिए, वहाँ एनेबल ओरिजिनल साउंड दिखेगा।
मीटिंग सेटिंग में जगह है ये।
हाँ, तो एनेबल ओरिजिनल साउंड दिख रहा है आपको? ऑडियो में एनेबल ओरिजिनल साउंड दिखना चाहिए आपको।
नहीं, वो सेटिंग नहीं आ रहा है मेरे इसमें, क्या मालूम नहीं।
आप बात कर लीजिए, कोई बात नहीं। अगर बजा के नहीं दिखा सकते तो बात वही।
हाँ नहीं, थोड़ा थोड़ा आएगा, जितना मुझे
हाँ।
मैं दिखा सकता हूँ उतना। ये इससे नहीं आ रहा है शायद, कुछ तो प्रॉब्लम। तो यानी जैसे कि प ग म ध ध, अभी ये यहाँ पे आपको फोर्स देना पड़ेगा बेलों के हिसाब से, बेलों की तरफ से। वो अगर फ्लैट गया तो राग का मूड नहीं बनता है। और ये कई बार हमने देखा है कि बेलो अगर ठीक नहीं है तो वो अकम्पनीमेंट भी फीका फीका होता है, उसमें सीधा सीधा फ्लैट फ्लैट हो जाता है, तो वो उसका साउंड बनता नहीं है राग का। इसके बाद में इसी का अगर उदाहरण हम देखेंगे तो राग दरबारी में भी शायद आपको सुनाई पड़ेगा यहाँ पे। ये सा था ने पा, ये जो 2 जगहें हैं इसमें, यहाँ पे भी हारमोनियम का बेलोइंग ज्यादा लगता है। यहाँ पे सुन पा रहे हैं मुझे?
जी जी, सुन पा रहे।
जी जी, हाँ। अगर यहाँ पे हारमोनियम का बेलो फ्लैट गया, इसका प्रेशर नहीं बना, तो ये बजेगा कैसा देखिए। यानी उसकी जो मीन थी, वहां पे जो फोर्स था, वो सब निकल गया। वो निकलने के बाद में राग का जो रूप प्रकट होता है वो हो ही नहीं पाएगा, क्योंकि उसका प्रेशर नहीं बना है वहां पे। इसलिए अच्छा सोलो बजाने के लिए या अच्छे अकम्पनीमेंट करने के लिए हारमोनियम का बेलो सबसे ज्यादा अच्छा होना चाहिए। इसका और एक कारण है कि जिस तरह से हम लोग ये भी बोलते हैं कि हारमोनियम और मानवीय शरीर, हमारा शरीर, ये जो है बिल्कुल रिलेट करते हैं। जिस तरह से हमारे गले में वोकल कॉर्ड्स है, हारमोनियम में रीड्स है। जहाँ पे हमारे लंग्स है, वो काम हारमोनियम का साउंड बॉक्स करेगा। और जो सांस भरने का काम है वो बेलो करता है। अगर बोलने के लिए या गाने के लिए जिस तरह से आपको सांस की बहुत जरूरी है, यहाँ पे भी प्रेशर बनना, एक पर्टिकुलर प्रेशर होना जरूरी है, उसी हिसाब से वो ही इंटोनेशन लाने के लिए हारमोनियम में बेलो का काम बहुत ज्यादा अच्छा होना चाहिए। इसके बाद में कीबोर्ड। सुर हारमोनियम की रीड से सुर
Praveen ji,
निकलने के
एक मिनट. So when Praveen is referring to the bellows, earlier I explained you have the front bellow and you have the bottom bellow. The bottom bellow is sitting on 2 to 3 springs. Over a period of time, the bellow may tilt slightly to one side. The pressure in the springs, you may lose some of the pressure in the springs. At that time, the bottom bellow, which is responsible for storing the air and releasing the air to the reeds, is not functioning at its peak capacity. So those springs are straightened out and also rewound slightly so that they create adequate pressure for a longer sustained and to achieve the playing capacity that Praveen is mentioning vis-a-vis the bellow. बोलिए प्रवीण जी, थैंक यू.
जी ठीक है, यहाँ तक आगे बढ़ेंगे.
जी जी.
इसके बाद में है कीबोर्ड. कीबोर्ड में पहला तो कीबोर्ड एक लेवल में होना बहुत जरूरी है. उसकी सारी कीज व्हाइट एंड ब्लैक की सारी एक लेवल में. अगर वहां पे बेंड हो गया है, कई बार ऐसा होता है कि हारमोनियम्स में बाद में बेंड होने लगता है, कीबोर्ड भी बेंड होता है. उसके वजह से क्या होता है, उसका प्रेशर हारमोनियम की कीज का वो कम ज्यादा होने लगता है. कहीं पे कीज नीचे चली जाएगी बहुत ज्यादा नीचे जाने के बाद में वो पिछली वाली जो उसका लकड़ा होता है उसको टच करेगा, और हर बार हारमोनियम के साथ में कीज के प्रेशर के साथ में खटखट 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 अलग से आवाज आने लगती है, डिस्टॉर्टेड साउंड. वो थोड़ा अच्छा नहीं लगता. इसलिए सबसे पहले तो आपको कीबोर्ड एक लेवल में है, कीज एक लेवल में है, ये आपको जरूर देखना चाहिए. दूसरा, कीज का भी प्रेशर बहुत जरूरी होता है. हारमोनियम बजाते समय उसमें अलग अलग स्पीड में आपको चीजें बजानी होती है. जैसे कि अगर मैं आलाप करूंगा, तो इसका स्पीड अलग है, ये स्लोअर स्पीड में चल रहा है. इसके जगह अगर मैं लयकारी का पार्ट देखता हूं तो उसमें थोड़ी स्पीड बढ़ जाएगी. इसमें स्पीड बढ़ गया. इस स्पीड बढ़ने से अभी तान में तो और भी बढ़ेगा. ये स्पीड हर एक आपका जो वजन होगा हाथ का उसको मैच करने के लिए हारमोनियम का कीबोर्ड कीज एक पर्टिकुलर प्रेशर में या उसका रिस्पॉन्स करने का भी एक ये होना चाहिए. बहुत ज्यादा लूज अगर हारमोनियम की कीज है तो वो बजाने में तकलीफ दे सकती है, स्पेशली क्लासिकल म्यूजिक के साथ में. अगर आपको सोलो बजाना है तो आपका हारमोनियम का की भी उतना प्रेशर लेने वाला चाहिए. वो अगर बहुत लूज रहा तो वो प्रेशर, उंगलियों की प्रेशर से वो थोड़ा बेंड हो सकता है, या वो बजेगा नहीं, आपका हाथ जाएगा नहीं स्पीड में. इसलिए कीबोर्ड का प्रेशर ये भी, यानी आपके हाथ को वो टच होना बहुत जरूरी है, हाथ का प्रेशर लगना बहुत जरूरी है. ये भी हारमोनियम सोलो या अकम्पनीमेंट करते समय हम लोगों को ध्यान में रखने वाली चीज होती है. बहुत स्लो हारमोनियम, बहुत लूज अगर की है, मैंने वो भी देखा है. मैंने कई बार स्केल चेंजर हारमोनियम्स पे क्लासिकल बजाने का ट्राई किया है, लेकिन जब प्रेशर से चीजें आती है, यानी नी 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 धा पा मा धा पा मा पा गा मा पा गा मा मा ग रे सा नी सा, गा 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 रे सा नी दा पा, ये सब चीजें हारमोनियम पे प्रेशर देके बजानी होती है, हाथ का फोर्स वहां पे लगता है। उस समय में वो हल्की कीज माने उसका अगर प्रेशर नहीं है, वेट नहीं है, तो वो आप बजा नहीं पाएंगे। ये हो गया हारमोनियम की का। मैं बहुत ज्यादा समय नहीं लूंगा, थोड़े समय में थोड़ा थोड़ा सामने जाऊंगा मैं। अभी दूसरी बात है हारमोनियम का ट्यूनिंग। रमन्ना जी ने हारमोनियम के ट्यूनिंग के बारे में बहुत अच्छी जानकारी दी है। उन्होंने इक्वी टेम्पर्ड 12 टोन इक्वी टेम्पर्ड स्केल के बारे में उन्होंने वो सब चीजें आपको बताई है, जो अभी भी इंडिया में या जहां जहां पे हारमोनियम बजती है वहां पे मेजरली वही ट्यूनिंग होता है जिसको हम लोग जनरल ट्यूनिंग कहते हैं। लेकिन 1990 के बाद में, या ऐसा कहिए कि यहाँ पे एक नाम लेना बहुत जरूरी है, पंडित कुमार गंधर्व। इनका सुर का काम, ये सुरों की सोच बहुत ज्यादा अच्छी थी। उनको उन्होंने सोचा कि अरे हारमोनियम अगर हम लोग ले रहे हैं संगत के लिए, तो उसका जनरल ट्यूनिंग क्यों करें। उसका अगर गंधार अगर हम लोग इंडियन ट्यूनिंग के हिसाब से, भारतीय स्वर सप्तक के हिसाब से अगर हम लोग उसको ट्यून कर पाए तो बहुत अच्छा होगा। इसलिए पंडित कुमारगंज, जहां तक मुझे मेरा नॉलेज है, मुझे लगता है कुमार गंधर्व जी ने सबसे पहले गंधार ट्यूनिंग का इस्तेमाल किया है। अभी गंधार ट्यूनिंग माने क्या, आप सभी लोग जानते हैं कि भारतीय स्वर सप्तक या उसकी जो पोजीशनिंग है वो हर एक की अलग अलग है। सा से लेके रे का डिस्टेंस अलग है, रे से ग का डिस्टेंस अलग है, सा से म, सा से प या सा से ध का भी अलग है। जनरल ट्यूनिंग में इक्वी टेम्पर्ड माने हर एक सुर समान लेवल पे या एक लेवल पे एक एक जैसा ही, जितना डिस्टेंस सा से रे का होगा उतना ही म से प का उसका उतना ही ध से नी का होगा। तो सारे एक लेवल पे सुरीले होंगे या एक लेवल पे बेसुरे होंगे, ये उसका मतलब बनता है इक्वी टेम्पर्ड का। गंधार ट्यूनिंग में क्या होता है कि गंधार ट्यूनिंग में सा को बेस मान के उसके हिसाब से गंधार, फिर मध्यम, फिर धैवत, निखात, ये सारी चीजें, धैवत, ये सब उससे जोड़ के ट्यून कर लेते हैं और उसको कहते हैं गंधार ट्यून। शास्त्रीय संगीत में जहां जहां पे शुद्ध गंधार या शुद्ध धैवत वाले राग आते हैं, जैसा अभी मैं बजा रहा था, राग बिहार, राग हमीर, राग भूपाली, या देशकार, या बागेश्वरी का धैवत, तो इसमें क्या होगा, जनरल ट्यूनिंग हारमोनियम का गंधार, शुद्ध गंधार चढ़ा मिलेगा। वहीं पे गंधार ट्यूनिंग हारमोनियम का गंधार आपको भारतीय स्वर सप्तक के हिसाब से, माने तानपुरे से जो गंधार, स्वयंभू गंधार निकलता है, यानी खर्ज की तार से जो गंधार आपको सुनाई देगा, वो हारमोनियम में ट्यून करते हैं। ये महाराष्ट्र में थोड़ा इसका प्रचलन ज्यादा है, मुंबई, पुणे या ये इस एरिया में। उसका फायदा अकम्पनीमेंट में और सोलो दोनों में दिखाई पड़ता है। जहां पे शुद्ध गंधार या शुद्ध धैवत वाले राग हैं उसमें, देखिए मैं आपको इसका एक छोटा सा उदाहरण देना चाहूंगा। मेरे सामने अभी दो हारमोनियम से ये दिखा सकता हूँ, दोनों के रीड्स एकदम सेम है, सेम हारमोनियम से दोनों। लेकिन मैंने मेरे सामने अभी जो हारमोनियम, इसको मैंने सफेद 6 में ए में ट्यून करवा लिया है अकम्पनीमेंट के लिए, और दूसरा जो है जनरल ट्यूनिंग का रखा है। रीड्स दोनों के सेम है, देखिए। चलिए अभी इसके साथ में बजने वाला गंधार, सा ग, ये देखिए ये चढ़ गया। इसके हिसाब से धैवत, ये भी चढ़ा है, धैवत भी चढ़ा है। तो इसमें अगर मैं वही बिहाग राग यहाँ पे बजाऊंगा तो आप देखिए क्या आपको कैसा लगता है? जहां जहां पे सुर लैंड होता है राग में, प ग म ग सा म ग प ग म ग ग म प नि प प ग म ग। तो ये गंधार जब गायक लैंड होते हैं वहां पे, तो उसका सुरीला संगत, उसकी सुरीली संगत मिलनी वहां पे बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाती है। वही जनरल ट्यूनिंग में थोड़ा कम मिलने लगता है। देखिए ये देखिए चढ़ गया। ये यहाँ पे होना चाहिए था, लेकिन अभी देखिए, यानी ये जनरल ट्यूनिंग में गंधार चढ़ा मिलता है, जिससे थोड़ा गायक लघु को या जो भी सिंगर होगा उसको वो अपना सुर लगाने में, सेट करने में तकलीफ हो सकती है। वहीं पे अब मैं आपके सामने सफेद छे में गंधार ट्यून की गई हारमोनियम बजाने जा रहा हूं। वहां पे लैंड करते समय देखिए आपको कैसे सुनाई पड़ता है, या मैं षड्जे के साथ में भी आपको, षड्ज के साथ में भी बजा के दिखाऊंगा। देखिए सा के साथ में देखिए इसका कन्नड़ कैसा बोलता है, मिल गए हैं दोनों। ये सामा भी देखिए, ये भी मिल गए। अभी जैसा सा से लेके गंधार का डिस्टेंस बनेगा, वैसा ही उधर मध्यम का भी, धैवत को भी उतारना होता है फिर इस सिस्टम में। वो देखिए अभी धैवत उतर गया है, वही इधर का धैवत देखिए। अभी इधर का देखिए जन गंधार ट्यूनिंग। तो ये होता है गंधार, जिसमें गंधार, धैवत और मध्यम थोड़ा उतर जाता है। जनरल ट्यूनिंग से वो कम श्रुतियों पे उसको सेट करते हैं, और पंचम को जनरल ट्यूनिंग के हिसाब से एक एक सेंट बोलिए थोड़ा चढ़ा चढ़ा रखना होता है। तो वो बिल्कुल अपने इंडियन स्वर सप्तक के, भारतीय स्वर सप्तक से ट्यून हो जाते हैं, जिससे शुद्ध गंधार, धैवत, ये जिन जिन रागों में लगते हैं उसको बजाने में बहुत ज्यादा सहूलियत हो जाती है, और जिससे गायक को भी एक अलग सा उसमें आधार मिलने लगता है। देखिए संगत का सबसे पहला काम गायक को आधार देना होता है। गायक को अगर सुरों के माध्यम से अच्छा आधार या एक माहौल, ड्रोन मिलने लगे, तो उस दिन का गाना उनका बहुत अच्छा होने लगेगा। वही अगर आपका गंधार बेसुरा है, दैवत बेसुरा लग रहा है, तो वो थोड़ा, गायक उस समय बोलते हैं अरे इसको थोड़ा उतर के लाना चाहिए था आपने। इसलिए आजकल यहाँ पे गंधार ट्यूनिंग की हारमोनियम हर एक कंपनी में अकम्पनिस्ट करता है, या सोलो के लिए भी वो इस्तेमाल होता है।
अच्छा, इसके साथ मैं एक डिस्क्लेमर पढ़ना चाहता हूँ। प्रवीण जी जो है बहुत महान कलाकार है।
अरे नहीं, महान
उन्होंने
कहाँ।
अपनी पूरी जिंदगी म्यूजिक में डाली है। इनका लेक्चर सुन के आपसे हाथ जोड़ के विनती है, मेरे पास आके मत बोलिए कि मुझे गंधार ट्यूनिंग हारमोनियम दे दो। मैं वो काम कर नहीं पाऊंगा। मतलब आप लोग को सिखाने के लिए ये सब बता रहे हैं डिफरेंसेस, सो दैट यू अंडरस्टैंड। द वन थिंग आई वांट टू मेंशन इज, इन्होंने कहा ए ट्यून्ड हारमोनियम। तो ए ट्यून्ड हारमोनियम का मतलब है कि आपने ए को सा बनाया, उसको मीटर से सेट किया, उसके बाद आपने सारे कीज को ट्यून किए। वो ट्यून करने के बाद आपने क्या किया, पंचम को थोड़ा ऊंचा किया और गंधार और दैवत को थोड़ा सा दबाया। तो इसमें आपका गंधार ट्यूनिंग हुआ। क्या ये काम मैं कर पाऊंगा? मैं नहीं कर पाऊंगा, क्योंकि आई
रमना जी,
डोंट इवन नो हाउ अ गंधार ट्यूनिंग नीड्स टू साउंड लाइक। The exact notation for that is very difficult. So we need professionals to do that. So, don't come and host me that I want a Gandhar because I cannot do that. But Praveen ji,
प्रवीण
बहुत
प्रवीण जी,
बहुत धन्यवाद. We are very
प्रवीण जी,
privileged to actually have you here.
यस यस यस।
या प्रवीण जी, मेरा हार्दिक प्रणाम स्वीकार करें।
नमस्ते
दिस इज
नमस्ते नमस्ते।
शुभजीत। नमस्ते नमस्ते जी, शुभजीत। एंड रमना जी, यू आर एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट। तो जस्ट टू ऐड वन नोट, normal gandhar tuning is done only and only with Maharashtra पेटीज।
यस,
ठीक है।
करेक्ट करेक्ट करेक्ट
और स्केल
करेक्ट।
चेंजर में आप गंधार ट्यूनिंग नहीं कर पाओगे,
नहीं,
बिकॉज
और उसकी जरूरत भी नहीं।
Disclaimer पढ़ लिए।
नहीं कर
साथ
पाओगे,
साथ।
नहीं
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 कर
नहीं
पाओगे।
नहीं,
दैट इज द टेक्निकल इशू।
यहाँ पे मैं एक जोड़ना चाहूंगा।
प्लीज।
ये गंधार ट्यूनिंग शास्त्रीय संगीत के साथ में अकम्पनीमेंट करते समय या सोलो बजाते समय ही इसका उपयोग होगा। वो 2 लाइन हारमोनियम से में ज्यादा होता है। 3 लाइन 4 लाइन हारमोनियम में ये करने का कुछ पर्पस नहीं बनता, क्योंकि वो हारमोनियम अलग अलग स्टाइल्स में बजती हैं, जहाँ पे आपको गंधार ट्यूनिंग की जरूरत नहीं है। गजल
बिल्कुल
के
सर,
साथ में बजाते समय आपको गंधार ट्यूनिंग चलेगा नहीं। वो भी
नहीं
बजाते
चलेगा,
हैं,
वही मैं बता रहा हूँ।
लेकिन गजल के साथ में चलेगा नहीं, उसका उतना माहौल नहीं होगा। ये एक स्टाइल
नहीं,
ऑफ ट्यूनिंग मैंने आपसे आज यहाँ पे बोली, जो क्लासिकल में बहुत ज्यादा कारगर है।
बिल्कुल सर। तो ये मैं बता रहा हूँ, जो महाराष्ट्र के महान कलाकार है, पुणे के महान कलाकार है, उनके लिए देयर प्रेफरेंस इज ऑलवेज गंधार ट्यूनिंग। और जैसे हम लोग इसको स्केल चेंजर में ढालेंगे, तो स्केल चेंजर में गंधार ट्यूनिंग पॉसिबल ही नहीं, बिकॉज वो
नहीं नहीं,
तब क्या होगा,
बिल्कुल नहीं
जैसे आप
पता।
स्केल चेंज करोगे, लेकिन आपने माने व्हाट इज ट्राइंग टू से इज, काली काली 5 में या सफेद 6 में, सफेद 6 में आपने जैसे किया है, तो अगर आपने स्केल चेंज कर दिया तो फिर वो नहीं आएगा।
नहीं,
तो एंड थैंकफुली आई एम थैंकिंग द टेक्नोलॉजी कि प्रवीण जी की आवाज सुनने को आया। लेकिन हारमोनियम सुनते तो और अच्छा लगता। तो हारमोनियम फिर भी कभी सुन सकते हैं, लेकिन कोई गला सुनने पे
बिल्कुल
नहीं आता।
बिल्कुल सुनाएंगे,
तो
बिल्कुल
जो
सुनाएंगे।
वो टेक्नोलॉजी का हमें थैंक्स देना चाहिए। तो प्रवीण जी, प्लीज कंटिन्यू।
यस, ट्यूनिंग, मुझे आज यहाँ पे 3 चीजें बोलनी थी, जो मैं वैसे मेरा पूरा कर चुका हूँ। मुझे 10 मिनट थे, 10 10 के 15 मिनट हो गए शायद। तो मैं रमना जी यहाँ पे रुकना चाहूंगा मैं।
Thank you very much, Praveen ji. Once again,
जो
thank you so much.
एक्चुअल एक्चुअल गाना बजाना करते समय जो चीजें सामने आती है, वो ये 3 चीजें हैं। कोई भी हारमोनियम बजाए सीखेंगे या बजाएंगे, उनको ये 3 चीजें सबसे ज्यादा ध्यान में रखनी होती है, कि हारमोनियम का बेलो, उसका प्रेशर, कीबोर्ड कीज का प्रेशर, और हारमोनियम का ट्यूनिंग।
थैंक यू प्रवीण जी, एंड बिल्कुल रुकिए आखिरी तक।
Yeah.
बिल्कुल, मैं रुकने वाला हूँ, सुन रहा
Pallavi
हूँ।
ji, once again, I want to say, anybody who wants to learn from Praveen, contact LearnQuest or contact me. We'll make that arrangement for you. Um, and anybody who wants a Gandhar tuned harmonium, you can reach out to me. We'll special order it for you with the caveats read out. Having said that, now to the grand finale. Over to Sojit, please. Suvajita,
Okay. Can you hear me?
you're highlighted. Thank you.
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Okay. My special thanks to Pradeep ji. Is Pradeep ji here in today's show?
Yes, he is.
Okay, Pradeep ji, मेरा नमस्कार लीजिएगा. So, and again, Ramna ji, thanks for inviting me. And I am honored that I'm here. And एक बात और है, प्रवीण जी ने जो बताया, it was really, really informative. And these things we don't experience Gandhar tuning when we are sitting in this part of the country, you know. We cannot do Gandhar tuning in scale changes, so neither we know how to do a Gandhar tuning. So that is one part we wanted to all learn first. And now प्रवीण जी एक बात बता रहे थे माहौल की. तो सो माहौल कैसे बनाया जाए? So now what we will I just learn to shift the camera somehow. What? Hang on. Oh yes. Okay. So today what we have is okay an instrument, as you can see. I hope everybody can see it.
Yes, we
Is
can
it
see.
visible?
G.
Okay. Thank you, Pallavi. So what we have is it looks like a normal scale changer, but the point is जो माहौल की बात कर रहे थे, the arena what we are talking about. Okay, so we have added that mahol in this, you know. Suppose you are singing and you just really want the tanpura to play on behind you on sometime when you get a wake up in the morning, you want to put on the tanpura. The reason to it's create that environment, right? You want to be in the musical environment. So what we have done is we have inbuilt it or encrypted the tanpura within the harmonium. Can you see that?
Yeah, we can see it.
Yes, we can see. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the first of its kind innovation that we have done. Okay. And now let me change the scales of the tanpura. Right. So
Suvajita,
we are
tanpura
at
सुनाई
6.
नहीं दे रहा है.
Can you hear it?
No, I think you have to change your settings also to the original sound on your Zoom session. You have
Yeah,
to
you
change.
know that I don't want to mingle around. 1 minute. ये कैसे होता है? Let me see. Because the same problem we had with Praveen ji, but we wanted him to listen to the instrument parallelly. Okay. So now where do we get that original settings?
Are you on the phone or are you on the?
Yeah, I'm on the phone. No, I'm on the phone.
Pallavi ji, do you mind guiding Suvajit?
Please.
Yes, G. I will guide you. I'm going to get on the phone as well, and then we can check this out.
Right.
While we are waiting, a special thanks to Pradeep ji for making this all happen, guys.
Absolutely.
It is not usual for us to get an artist of the caliber of Praveen in to
Correct.
explain certain nuances.
And you know what I
Remarkable feat
really
from Pradeep ji.
loved is he had both the instruments with him. So
Yeah.
he had kept one Gandhar tuning and one Madhyam Panchan tuning with him, so that people can understand the difference. But it's our misfortune that we couldn't make out it. The sound was not there.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but still you could hear Praveen ji a lot. You can understand what exactly it is.
ठीक है. सुभजीत जी, आप iPhone में when you look at your meeting settings, आपको original sound दिखाई दे रहा है?
Okay, so I'm getting into the settings. There is only one more option. Then I go to more option. Then it goes to meeting settings. I'll read out the meeting settings. Mute upon entry. Play, join, and leave sound. And then general settings, no.
General
Always
settings.
show meeting control.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so I'm on the computer, so it'll be different if I try to show, but let me look at some help. So
Always show meeting controls.
yes, yes.
Show my connected time.
Hmm.
Okay, so it is English there.
No, we are not able to do it on the phone.
Yeah, okay. You
I'm trying to
should
do it
be, but
here.
yeah.
Yeah, हम लोग फोन पे कर नहीं पा रहे. चलिए सुजीत आप कंटिन्यू कीजिए. जितना हम लोग सुन पाएंगे उतना सुनेंगे.
And if I figure it
Okay.
out in the meantime, Suvajita, I will let you know.
Yes. Let me try to connect over my laptop as well and see. So laptop original sound settings are there?
हाँ,
Yes.
तो आप अपना फोन म्यूट करके लैपटॉप से ओरिजिनल साउंड कर सकते हैं.
Yeah. I think we can do that. So again, guys, give me 2 minutes for this trouble, because I was trying to look when Praveenji was
Yeah.
having the
No,
same.
go ahead. I'll speak some more, and I'll use this opportunity of a couple of minutes. If anybody has any questions on what Praveen presented on Gandhar tuning, and I want to thank Sanjay Jain, one of the senior members of LearnQuest, because he was the one who brought up Gandhar tuning originally to me. And, we started digging deeper into Gandhar tuning based on his request because we'd heard of it. We'd not, really played around with that a
Hey,
lot.
Dodo.
So, any questions so far on the maintenance, on what we covered thus far, or any open forum questions that any person may have? And your questions can also be related to the larger event from LearnQuest. Once again, guys, I urge all of you, the only way you can help an organization like LearnQuest is by participation. Participate in the Spring Festival, show up with your family, enjoy time with all of us. Any questions, we are always there to help you, but your participation increases our morale. So that is the most important thing. Engage in all the festivals and the baithaks and everything so that, it feels that the people who are putting in so much of their personal time into this in order to make this a better and more enriched community feel like they're doing the right thing. So I would encourage you to also reach out to your friends and other people who are into this and encourage them to attend the Spring Festival, encourage them to attend the baithaks and other things so that, it helps us as a community.
Thank you for that plug-in, Ramanaji. And to remind everybody, our workshops have begun. This is the second workshop of the season, and the conference festival is on March 29th, 30th, and 31st, and the second weekend is April 13th and 14th. We have a wonderful cadre of artists coming this time. We have about close to 70 completely. The artists are about close to 70 artists coming from all over the world. And we have the special thing about this year is not only we are spanning 2 weekends, we also have classical dance introduced. We have a very eminent Bharatanatyam dancer, Padmini Ravi from Bangalore, coming to enthrall us with her skill. And we also have a first generation Kathak dancer from California, Farah Sheikh, who is Pandit Chitresh Das's student, who will also be here. So please go to www.learnquest.org. You will get details about all the performances, and also you will find a way to purchase tickets. Thank you.
Thank you, Pallaviji. Any questions from the audience? We had some very interesting questions today. Any more on an open forum, please?
Hi, sorry, this is Nilesh Narkani again.
Yes, Nilesh.
Are these tickets at the LearnQuest available right now for purchase for online?
Pallaviji, over to you to
Yes,
answer that.
yes, they are. They are. If you go to www.learnquest.org, you can look at the ticket categories and then click a button to purchase them.
Thank you. And I was wondering, this record, is this session being recorded?
It
Because there
is.
are several resources that Ramanaji mentioned, and
Yes.
but we don't have contact information. It would be helpful if someone posts it or if it's available on LearnQuest website.
It is on the LearnQuest YouTube channel. So we are actually doing a live cast of this session, and you can go to the LearnQuest YouTube channel, and it should be there. So the previous session, which was on Tabla by Ramanaji, and this session will both be there.
Thank you. That's excellent.
And Nilesh, in case you don't get any of those resources or are not able to locate them, reach out to me on Instagram. The only social media presence I have is on Instagram and nothing else. My handle is Radha Rhythms, spelled RADHARHYTHMS. So that's Radha Rhythms, spelled the way it sounds to you. And DM me and I will point you to the LearnQuest resources in case you are not able to get any of those resources. So just reach out to me and I can connect you with the appropriate LearnQuest resource for whatever help it is that you need there.
Thank you so much.
I've added Ramanaji's Instagram handle to the chat.
And on YouTube, if you go and search for LearnQuest, in the videos it should show, at least by this evening or tomorrow, it should show the
It will
thing.
show right away, Ramanaji, because
Should be immediate. Okay.
it
Thank
will
you.
be, because we're already live casting, so it will show up right away.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, I won't keep you waiting any longer. We are trying to log in from a different device. Let's see. It might take some more time. So in the meantime, in a nutshell, what we have done is this instrument is named Harmonium. Okay. So the introduction to that is somehow. Oh, you are there. Okay. So let me mute this. There is another device I've connected. Okay. And can you let me mute this and let me try from adding.
So Vijita, we cannot hear you. I would suggest keeping the audio of the laptop and the video from your phone, which is going to make life easy for you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Okay. So let's put the video audio from this particular phone and see. Okay.
It's highlighting for those who are following, you will have to look on your screen and drag that into the center to see the instrument, because
Yeah. Okay. So this is good. And now let me switch this on. Yeah, can we hear the tanpura?
no.
No.
Can you hear it?
No, we cannot hear the tanpura.
So the only resource I have, either we will do it without that, or we will do it from meeting code. Okay, let's get me the passcode, please.
The passcode is 622901.
Okay. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, can you hear the tan?
No.
So Suvajitji, we need the original sound, whichever you're using, whether it's the computer or your phone. We need that original sound enabled.
I'm on my laptop. Okay. What happened if you close out now? Now, so now you can tell me more sound options. Okay, request permission, chat, caption. So Pallavi, can you tell me, I'm from the laptop. Can you tell me where I get the original sound?
So you see
Pallavi?
the mic sign,
Right.
and then when you click on the arrow, you should be able to see audio settings.
So audio settings, correct?
And then when you go in there are two things you should turn on. One is in the audio profile, make the background noise suppression low.
Okay.
And then scroll down and you will find original sound for musicians. So either of those should work.
Okay, done.
Okay, perfect.
But these settings are not there in the mobile, you know. Okay. So are we able to hear the Tanpura?
We can hear it.
Can we hear the Tanpura?
We can hear it.
Yes, we can.
Ramanaji?
Yes, yes.
Oh, that's great. Okay. So what I'll do is, I will go past it. Okay. And show you. This is the tan concept basically. What we have done is in one instrument. Okay, sorry if I'm joining in from too many devices. So this will just make life easy for both of us. So this is basically an instrument which is a combination of harmonium and tanpura. The atmosphere or the flavor what Pravinji was talking about is this, right? You know, if we get just a tanpura playing at the backdrop, we know that we'll get the senses and we get the essence of music coming in into it. So this is what it is, the first of its kind. Okay, and apart from that, we are completely free from all power hackles, because this comes with a power cord and chargeable batteries, just like your mobile phone. Okay, just like our mobile phone, you know. So what we can do is we need to recharge the battery, and with one battery sound it comes for around 8 hours of playing. So that's a super benefit for all the musicians. Let me try playing the harmonium. I don't know whether you can listen to it or not. So let me put the coupling on.
Perfectly clear.
This is how it will create, right? So we have the back side of the instrument, and I don't know whether you'll be able to look at it or not. Okay, somehow this is a better arena what we are talking. So this is what it is. It has just been launched. It was in a beta stage when we took this instrument last time to US. Okay, and as we had been in Boston, and we made a show in NABC 2023, just for people to look and have a feel of what we have done. So
Sujita, we
now it
have a
is ready.
question.
Okay, and we are distributing this prototype. You can always let me know, or you can always get in touch with Ramnaji. Okay, and in case anybody is interested, Ramnaji will arrange something.
Yeah, Sujita, we have a question.
Yeah.
Does the Tanpura have an amplifier?
Yeah. So, yeah, Ramnaji, tell me.
Someone's asking, does the Tanpura have an amplifier?
Hang on. Yeah. Yes, Ramnaji, tell me.
They're asking, does the Tanpura have an amplifier? Or can you plug
No,
an amplifier into the
you
Tanpura?
don't need an amplifier. Okay, because the volume itself is very high. Number one, and if you are singing, so there are three sounds coming from one from your voice, one from the tanpura, another from the harmonium itself, right? So if you make it too loud, people cannot hear your voice, or they cannot hear your harmonium sound.
Okay, understood. Any other questions, folks? Sujita, I think it's a great addition, We need more people like you who are innovating in the field of harmonium instead of keeping it static, right? Like the same thing. So we feel very privileged to be associated with you, and I myself, as your good friend and elder brother, I feel very privileged and very happy for this accomplishment. Kudos to you. Pallavi, if there are no further questions, over to you, please.
Thank you. Does anybody have any more questions? Okay. If nobody has any questions, thank you all for being here. It was a long session, but it was a wonderful, informative, and entertaining session. We learned so much about the harmonium and the innovations in harmonium that Subhajit ji has, as well as the different types of tuning and so on that we learned today from Praveen ji. So thank you all for being here. Our next workshop will be an in-person workshop at the Natick Community Spiritual Center. It is a workshop on percussion instruments, and we would love to see you all there. If you have any questions, reach out to us. Our email and phone number was in the chat. I will paste it again. If you have any questions for LearnQuest, if you have any questions for Ramanaji, or anything that you have learned here today, please reach out. We'll be happy to assist you. And please buy tickets, attend the conference, attend the festival at the end of the workshops. And we look forward to seeing you there. And we look forward to hosting all these wonderful artists again at a workshop or a lecture demonstration. Thank you, and have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks, Pallavi, and a special thanks to Pradeep ji for all his efforts and his endeavors, and his love and passion for music. Okay, has brought us together all together here, and we hope we'll come up with more some sessions. And once we're in US, we'll make some live sessions with Pradeep ji and everybody else. Thank you. You have a great weekend.
Thank you. And if you all join,
thank you for inviting me. Yeah.
Okay, and if you subscribe to our email list, you will hear about all our upcoming sessions, as well as throughout the year, whatever we organize. Thank you. Good afternoon.
So my special thanks to the host, Pallavi. She has been very patient with people like us who are technologically challenged. Okay, and I finally could things forward and see that people could understand what exactly we were trying to say. Okay, and Praveen ji, if he's listening, okay, it has been a great session, and we would love to hear from you the entire things on harmonium once again in a good long session. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Is the class over, Prabhuji's? Anybody there? Haribo, Hare Krishna, Namaste. Is the class over for the day? Are you there, Chanchala? Hare Krishna.